Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Starkey here with Kingdom on Wall Street, and thank you so much for watching. Listen, if you're new to this channel, you know what to do. Like, share, comment, and subscribe so that you can, make sure that you are viewing all of my videos whenever I drop new videos every week. Today, I want to talk about something that is a bit personal for me, and I really want to talk about is some specific things that I have learned and that I wish that I knew before going into marketplace ministry or before starting a kingdom business. Um, Now, before I get into that, I do want to be sure that I am clear as to what I am talking about. Now, I know that in my previous videos, I've used the term kingdom business, right? Kingdom business is just, the establishment that is for the kingdom, right? But your marketplace ministry is what the establishment is for. So the marketplace ministry is the agenda that your kingdom business has in the kingdom, all right? So I really want to talk about just four key things that I have that I thought about that I just wish that I knew that someone told me, or wish that I knew that I was, I wish that I had a heads up on before going into marketplace ministry. So the first thing is that let me looking at my notes here. The first thing is that one thing that I've learned is that I have to be on my best behavior. Now, listen, I let me just explain this just real quick, okay? Um, when you're in marketplace ministry, unless you are a preacher, right, or unless you are a pastor, and at least that's how it is for me. Like in my mind, I'm not walking around thinking that I'm a minister. I'm not walking around, you know, uh, conducting myself as a pastor or as a member of clergy, right? Because because I'm not, I'm not a member of clergy in the church, right? But I had to learn that I had to conduct myself in that specific way only because people are watching, right? People are watching you. So I had to be on my very best behavior. I had to make sure that I dotted all my I's and crossed all my T's, even though we all know that humans make mistakes. We know that nobody's perfect. But because you have presented yourself as a marketplace minister, you have presented your business as a kingdom business, regardless of whether you say, hey, I'm a marketplace minister or not, the fact that your business is a kingdom business and people know it, then people have a certain expectation of you. Um, so yeah, and because of that, again, you want to make sure that you are leading by example. That's one thing that I had to learn how to do is to lead by example. Even whenever I'm not in my business, when I'm just at home, or when I am just sitting on my porch in my own personal time, and people tend to learn, oh, this guy stays here, he lives there, he shops here. People are always watching, so I had to learn to be on my best behavior regardless of where I was. Not that I was interested in doing something wrong, but I just had to be extra, extra careful because I knew that I was a marketplace minister. I'm gonna give you another example. Like even whenever I would go to a fast food restaurant, right? And let's say that you ask for mayonnaise and they don't give you mayonnaise and you really have a taste for that mayonnaise. Like you can't be, that normal person and get upset and be like, hey, can I just have a refund? Like there are certain things that you just cannot do. There's certain things that you just can't do. Like even if you have no interest in like fussing anybody out, I'm not even talking about to that extreme. I'm talking about like even to the simplicity of saying, you know what, I want a refund. Or, even to like giving someone a bad review. Like it's those little itty bitty things that you're putting out and people are watching. People know who you are. So yeah, I learned that number one, I definitely had to be on my very, very best behavior. The second thing I want to mention is that I had to learn to be okay with just standing alone. I had to learn to be okay with being the only one in my area who did not participate in certain things. I know that, in some of my previous videos, I talked about Halloween um, a lot. Like in my area, Halloween was a big thing, right? A really big thing in one of the businesses that I had in another area. Um, and on Halloween night, like they would have a huge, trick or treating event. I'm talking about thousands of people will come, into the downtown area for trick or treating. And of course, that was an opportunity to make more money. I mean, you have thousands of people who are walking by your door, which is not a normal day. Like people are out, people are feeling festive, right? So to be able to close my door and to say, you know what, I can't participate in this, and to be able to stand strong, like that was something that I had to learn to be okay with, just by standing strong, and just by standing alone, and to watch all the other businesses participate, all of our neighboring businesses, have people in and out of their businesses, like they're buying stuff, people are spending money, so on and so forth, and nobody would come into my business during that time. Um, Another thing that I also want to mention is that in a clothing store that I had, there were certain things that were just on the pieces of clothing that I couldn't sell. You know, even though I knew that I could make money from it, right? People would find it to be a cool thing that, hey, I just found this, vintage T-shirt with, that promoted alcohol, or that promoted, cigarettes, or that was like that had a bad, or dirty joke on it, you know, certain pieces of jewelry that were just like that did not represent the kingdom. There were certain things that I just could not sell, even though they were beautiful pieces, and I'm like, oh my god, I can really get some money for this. I had to say, you know what, I need to go ahead and throw this thing away. I cannot put this thing on the sales floor because it does not align with the kingdom of God. So yeah, but yes, definitely being able to stand alone, to be able to make those decisions, to lead by example. That was the second thing that I had to learn by being a marketplace minister.
This channel opens the conversation about kingdom business and going above and beyond for the glory of God. But let's be honest, it's hard to make any of this happen without having the right amount of money at the right time. I personally have learned that we can pray all day, but unless we take action in the world that we live in, our faith will die. ManaFinancial.net is here to help kingdom business owners expand their businesses and take things to the next level, all for the glory of God. They specialize in cash out refinance programs for all real estate types, even including primary residences and empty land lots. They have an extremely low barrier to entry with little to no minimum credit score required, and funds can be deposited into your account in just a few days. Contact ManaFinancial.net today and see what you qualify for. ManaFinancial.net, the kingdom at hand.
All right, so let's talk about number three. Now, number three is that I wish that I knew to have systems in place as well as a team in place. Now, of course, you might think that those things are pretty obvious, right? But I'm talking about systems and teams in place for very specific needs and for very specific things. But even primarily having those things in place so you don't have to be the front line of your business, right? Um, Let me just explain it just a little bit more. So I noticed that whenever I was at the front line of my business, right? Number one, when you're at the front line of your business, when you're running a kingdom business, like you're always in prayer, right? I mean, if you're serious about it, you're serious about doing the work of the Lord, you're always in prayer. So since you're always in prayer, and you're always in prayer to push the things of the kingdom, to be in marketplace ministry, you know, God pours his spirit out on you. So you are endowed with with the Spirit of God. Like, I mean, the weight of the Spirit, like you're walking, carrying the weight of the Spirit of God on you. And so with that, you have power. With that, there's light. Like there's a high beam of light that is shining from, from your soul, because like you have the Holy Spirit that is on you, and it's a bright light. I mean, a super bright light, right? So because of that, people become attracted to you, and people want to talk to you. And so unless you are in that position, unless you are being used for the sake of talking to people, like it's important that you have other people in place, so that your team, or so you can have a system that can deal with those people, because if not, you will never get anything done. There were so many times when like I wanted to, you know, uh, take some pictures of some inventory, and I put some things online, but I was working by myself, right? So I will make sure that I do that when I know that the times will be slow. Well, guess what? As soon as I got to the point, people will come in, and they want to talk to me, and they would stay for hours talking and just really pulling on me spiritually, right? And I can't say that's a good thing or bad. Of course, it's a good thing that people wanted to be around. Like people were attracted to me. But on the flip side, it put me in a position of not being as productive for the kingdom. It put me in a position of having to attend to people, which was not as productive as I could have been if I was just to be able to be in an area by myself where I can focus and really focus on the growth of the business. Um, so that's what I mean by that. Like you must have a team, and you must have a system in place that will be the front line for you, so that as the business owner and as the marketplace minister, you can really focus on what God has called you to do. If that thing is not to communicate with people directly, right? You want to make sure that you have people in place. Um, and then the fourth thing that I also want to mention, this is the final thing, is that you have to be ready. I wish that I knew to be ready for a high level of spiritual warfare. Oh my God. Like, so I personally believe, I've never ran a church before, right? But from what I have learned, the warfare that marketplace ministers deal with is much higher than that of someone who's running a church. Okay? Think about it this way. When you're running a church, there are certain people who are just not going to go into a church. There are certain people who just don't have anything to do with the church. They don't want to be near a church. They've already written off church life from their life. But then you have people who were in the marketplace who just see you at first hand as just a restaurant, or just a store, or just a hair salon, or a barber shop, or whatever your business is, right? That's how they see you at first. So you're having so many more people who are coming into your business, so many different types of people who are carrying all sorts of things that they are involved with. And these are people who are coming into your business. They later realize that, oh, this is a kingdom business. This is a Christian business. Like this is a ministry that's actually in the marketplace. The very first thing that a lot of these people want to do is fight against you. A lot of these people are just sent by the kingdom of darkness to fight against you because you are in the marketplace. The warfare is so much heavier, so much heavier in the marketplace than what it is in a church setting. Again, because people have, and then not only do people, um, are I'm sorry, not only are you having more encounters with different types of people, but people have easy access to you as well. You understand what I'm saying? Because it is a public place. I can't even tell you how many times witches and warlocks have walked into my business and dropped things. But I can't even tell you how many times I've actually seen the evil spirits that are on people, and they're standing looking at me, frowning at me, like just because of the light of God's glory, you know? So yeah, that's the final thing. Like that's probably the heaviest thing. Like the warfare is super, super heavy. And I wish that someone told me that before I decided to go into marketplace ministry. Nonetheless, it's still worth it, you guys, because of course, you know that as a marketplace minister, as part of the kingdom of God, there's nothing that can harm you. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivers us out of them all. So there's definitely nothing to be afraid of. But it is there. The activity is there. The people are there, and they're coming. So and I wish that I knew that. So anyway, thank you so much for watching my video today. I hope I said something that touched home for you, and that really, that hit home for you, and that really touched you, and that really spoke to you. And I please also do not forget about manadirectories.net. If you are looking for a cash out refinance, if you're looking at selling your property, but you're not sure if you want to sell your property, or if you think that selling is the only option, and you have a business, that would be a good option for you if you're just looking for some quick cash. Or if you just want to weigh your options, you can actually, go to manafinancial.net and just put in your basic information, and you can see how much your property will qualify for. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this channel. I really appreciate you watching today. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and click the subscribe button, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.